Hi guys, new version, PsyScope 1.3. So as usual with the big version I will try to make a quick tour. What's new? So we'll make play, go back to default. So new splitters, now we have this splitter, and this splitter. And now we have the new icon to show hide the meter easily. And yeah, previously we couldn't, now we can adjust ratio between the meter. And if you click on two meters at the same time, you can control both. And if they are aligned, all aligned, you can control the four splitters. Now FFT smooth. I've got a new menu. I've revamped the menu also because it was a bit messy. Now it's more clean, I think. And in FFT we got a new menu which is smooth. And for example, if I show here the layers, we'll put Kickbase. Here we got a lot of details. Especially if you use not optimize. But we don't care. If we don't care that much, we can first reduce FFT type. But now we have a smooth menu, and if we use smooth, we can smooth the curves. So yeah, it gives us more an overall view of the balance between lows and highs. So I think it's quite handy. And it's shortcut for octave or 1/3 octave smooth, but you can freely use the smooth otherwise. Okay, and now we've got a new let's say show and kick. So the new enhanced bass mode. It will double the resolution while keeping the same FFT size. You use DSP tricks. So we can see when we press here, there's a preview of the beans, and we doubled the beans. So that's quite nice. Yeah. So next, 50 bass mode. Zoom meters. We can now zoom in the. We can have a value of the where the mouse is in the meter, and we can zoom in the dynamic range. So if you want, and the grid will adapt. And we can say, okay, between 0 and -2 I want more precision. You can zoom. If you right click, you are able to zoom. Same for the colorimeter. We can use mouse wheel or zoom with click and drag. Yeah, so that's it. Now we got some I will remove this, some meters. We've got a new meters menu, so I rename this to meters to show hide, and if you right click, you get the meters menu. You can hide the colorimeter, you get full view meter, or the other way around. You can adjust the split ratio. Colorimeter, we can the scale, which is what I saw previously. We can adjust the number of samples. Let's pick a sound which has some more stereo, maybe. Yeah, this one. Okay. So colorimeter, the number of samples, it's the historic size, or how many samples are down. Can make it blur glow, which can maybe a gimmick, but it helps also to see. And how fast they decay to 0 the samples. Colorimeter, viewmeter, we have we can force it to be always left and right, otherwise it follows what we have here. For example, left, right, mid side, etc. But personally I like to be in mono here, but I also like to check my meters, so in the meters I can set always to left and right. We can hide the RMS or show the RMS. We can adjust the range, the minimum dB and the max. For example, if I want my max to go to 6, now the maximum here is 6 or 0 or whatever. 0. Yeah, we can adjust the range. I click to reset as usual. Power ratio, it's a kind of bending the low volume will be take less place on screen, and you get more screen space for the higher part. Peak hold is the time the peaks, let's say on a kick. So I will make it's the time these peaks take to before they go back. So if you have if you want more time to see them, you can increase, or if you want them to quickly go back, you get the idea. RMS window is the time of the measurements. It should be normally that's recommended settings, but you can make it shorter. It will react faster or slower. And this is for the view speed, the decay speed of the main meter. If it's really fast, real time or normal. You can force it to be horizontal, so it's always horizontal, whatever you do. And or vertical or automatic is kind of adapting if there's adapting. If you that was the version you had previously was like this, but now you can choose. So that's think that's cool. Meters menu done. Now we've got some LUFS in show. We can enable LUFS. So LUFS is loudness metering. If on, you can adjust where it's placed. So if it's aligned to splitter, it follows the splitter. Or by default it will be down, I think. You can adjust the size. If you choose sound color or data colors, and then you can choose what you show. Either source name, the name of the sound, short term, max short term, momentary loudness, max momentary integrated and range. So if you only care about let's say momentary and integrated, you can choose remove the other short term and momentary and integrated. I want okay. Now we got only this. Okay, so full AD metering. True peaks metering also. Now in show when peaks you can enable true peaks, and here you get the true peaks, get the peaks and the true peaks. Because for people who know, let's say I show a square. Where is it? Square. This is a square. True peaks. Between the samples, you can overshoot, and the true peaks are the overshoots. The peaks are the samples value, and the true peaks are the overshoot. Okay, so you can get this. We'll see it with the new mode. Now we've got new choice for interpolation. If we make no interpolation, it's the square samples. But if we I have to be played. Okay, so let's play. I will make play. No, okay, I'm freeze. Let's think it will be easier. Bit so yeah, here you can see the waveform. It's stepped because there is no interpolation, but it's like this in the DAW. It's like this, but you can. It's nicer for the eyes to have some straight lines between the instead of steps. So if you go to interpolation linear, we'll have straight line between the samples. Cubic, it's more round. It was like this for PsyScope previously. The quadratic is a new mode that give a better, let's say, sorry, I will remove the filter here, remove anti-aliasing, no, this is this one, okay, so I remove filter, okay, so here we see a wave. If there is no interpolation at all, it's from -1 to 1, and there is no overshoot. But in reality, when this kind of wave go to your sound card, the DRC will have to have an anti-aliasing filter before it's hit the analog domain, And in reality, it looks more like this. Think. You can see here between these two samples there is overshoot, and this is the intersamples values. So yeah, now you can choose to show the intersamples values on what algorithm is used. So it basically is from the lowest possible, which is the digital, let's say, version with no overshoots, no overshoot as well, but it's interpolated. Or if you start to go in this mode, you will have a preview of the intersample peaks. So previously it was like this in PsyScope, which is quite low CPU, but still give an idea that there are overshoots at this point. Now this new PsyScope will use a better approximation, which is this one, which overshoots a bit more. And these two are more really high level, closer to the analog domain. So the true version is sync, but it's quite high CPU because for each sample it has to compute 64 samples before and after, sum them together, which is quite high CPU. So, and long source, it's an algorithm that tries to get closer to sync, but we see a bit less ringing because it will go less far. So it's scanning less samples, which make it more CPU friendly, while still giving a good vision of the true peak. You see here the true peak, it doesn't change a lot between the both. So yeah, if you want accurate true peaks, you use those two. But if you don't care at all, you can use no interpolation. And only when zoomed, it means that you will see it only when you are highly zoomed. If I for example get back on bit, here I won't see it. I will see it only when I start to zoom a lot, which I think is quite good because it will be faster, and we don't focus on our sample peaks. We will focus only when going highly zoom. So yeah, for example on kick, I will show the same thing on kick. On kick here, if I look with no interpolation, if you zoom a lot, you see the steps, the digital version. And if linear, it will make smooth line, etc. You get the idea. Okay, so new sync. Now it's better because previously it was in about this anti-aliasing is for the screen. It means that if there are more samples than per pixel, it have to scan. But I think it should be always on anyway because otherwise it's ugly. But these are two different things. Now this is really the interpolation of the waveform, and now we have full control over it. Okay. So let's move on. So now the big stuff. Previously we could only have 16 instances. Now we can still only show 16 sound, but we can have 128 instances. So if you add more instances, they will go to the next groups. Now there's a concept called group. This is one group, and we can have several groups of 16. And you can access the group by pressing this button here. So now it opens a new map view, and here it will be populated by the instance. So if you drop new instance, it will go there or there, and you can reorganize them. For example, here you can double click to name your group, my drums 2, okay, here my synth, give them a color, etc. And you can let's say this will be your ambience, or I don't know. And you can move the sounds to the group. So okay, make a drums group, move the synths here maybe, and when you are happy. So for example, here I got my four sounds, then empty space. Instead of moving them all manually, you can press back here. It will remove, it will push them on empty slot. Okay. So let's say I made these drum groups. So now if I use mouse wheel on a sound or on the group, we change the group. So you see the 16 here, they change, and you can navigate through all the instance. Or if you want to see any sound, you can open this view and double click on the sound, and you automatically jump to the correct group on the correct sound. Okay, so this is quite powerful, I think. There is one drawback to this system, is these are real instance in your DAW. So you can't have an instance in same instance in several groups because the plugin doesn't exist. But what I've made is virtual instance. So you can make copies if you want, say, to watch what will be your kick with this synth. You can press Ctrl and drag it, and it will make a copy. It's not a physical instance. It takes place of an instance, but it's a reference to this instance. Let's say I drag also the bass, and for you get some links to show you where there are copies. And if you right click on a copy, you can delete it. So this is cool because now I can check my drums, for example. Okay, on layers I got my drum, but if I move to the other group, I can also see the kick here, kick bass, and I can also enable them or disable with the synth. So I can get the sum of my kick and bass with the synth. You get the idea. So yeah, this is quite powerful. And if you want clear the copies, you can press clear copies here. So yeah, you can reorganize. I think it's easier to organize from this view, but you can also click and drag up and down to change the group. So if you kick, finally you want to move to this group here, up, this kick is now here. It's in the, if now I will make it back here, so I go up, back to the drums group, and here. You get the idea. So yeah, this is quite powerful, I think. And now there's a second thing, which is, so I recommend to set up all your instance, and then you can move on to the set view. And set view is a view that lets you create snapshots for shortcuts. So for example, me, I often check, often want to check my kick and bass. So I'm in layer mode, I disable all the sound, I keep only the kick and bass, and it's okay, I got this. Then now I can set it like I want, and right click on a cell. It's stored to this cell. If I double click, I can rename it, so it's already made here, but kick bass, okay? Now let's say I show you another example. I disable kick bass and I want to see my eyes. I can right click here, eyes. So now if I click kick bass, it will recall this. If I click eyes, it will automatically enable, disable the sound, and automatically switch to the mode. For example, here I got kick bass, but I often also check kick bass sum. I can move to sum and create another snapshot here. I will name kick bass sum. Give a color blue. Okay. And here now it's kick bass sum. Kick bass sum. I can rearrange them and you get the idea. So that's quite powerful because in terms of workflow you gain a lot of time. But you have to be careful is that if you change this stores, this remembers, these are basically memory of the on-offs of the page. So if you mess with in the map view, if you change your sounds, you will mess your sets because now if there is not, if your kick is on another group, the set won't work. You'll have to redo. So be careful with this. But otherwise, it's yeah, I think it's really powerful. And yeah, so in set view, you've got 16 slots. and if you click, you get a second page of 16 slots. So that's quite nice, I think. Yeah. So I think that's okay. And then we got some people asked if we can make screen capture. So now I've made 2 new icons here. It's a full screen one. It's a shortcut for control double click. You hide the toolbar if you want, and you have a shortcut here. And now you can take a snapshot. For example, here the camera, if you press, it will have saved an image, and you can toggle. So you can use as a reference. For example, you make some change and you want to see before after, you can right click to show the image on the new version. And when the image is shown, you can click here to save it as a PNG on your hard drive. And yeah, that's it. What else? So, and if you don't like the icon, because I suppose some people will say they don't want icons, you can go in show menu, more option, extra icon. You can hide them. Okay, now we got more gradients. I worked a bit better on the gradient performance also, because gradient is quite more CPU, because it has to analyze zero crossings, to estimate frequency, to build the gradient map, to paint. So it's at 60 frames per second, it's quite demanding. But if you use gradient mode, now we can have some more maps. So how it will previously was the default was like this. So it was mapping the zero crossing, or say the frequency, to the color. But now you can have also using the amplitude. You see here there is less sound, so it will be darker. And here it's for you get the idea. And there are several modes. For example, this one will keep the sound hue. So if my kick is red, it will remain red, but it will map the luminosity to the sound. For example, here it's if no gradient, you get the idea. Yeah, so you get several modes. You can tweak, and you can, if using gradient, you can adjust it a bit, like the gain, the contrast. If and you get the idea, and saturation, less saturated, more saturated. But if you get slow FPS, if you draw many waveform like in stack view, I've got a powerful computer, but if you draw a lot of waveform, I think FPS can drop. So if so, you should disable gradient. Okay, and now so yeah, I'm gonna disable gradient. A new cool stuff is hertz detection mode. So for example, if I had let's move to a square wave, yeah, or square wave. If you watch some synth cycle, it's not really handy to watch it in beat sync, so we could use hertz mode, but we had to find the hertz, or try to find the note, but it was working, but then if the note change, it won't match. So now there is a new auto detection. It's here, auto hertz. If you have to use either the FFT. So here, if I go FFT, it will tell me it must have the FFT to. So I will show the FFT, and now it use the FFT to detect, to try to detect the fundamental. So it will also tell you what note is currently playing, what frequency or not. So internally, it's quite tricky. This kind of stuff is really tricky. It's really hard mathematically. I made kind of technique where if it's really low, it won't use FFT because we won't have enough precision on FFT. It will use zero crossing. It will look where the wave crosses the axis. But if it's high enough, it will find the first the first spike in the spectrum. And there is a secure option. It will also look, if it's still low, like 100 Hz, it will look for the harmonics to try to detect. But anyway, that's technical stuff. So FFT, it works quite good, but so in some cases it can fail still. It's, for example, yeah, it's okay. But if on this sound, this is square 2, okay. If I add a filter, for example, it's okay, but if I add a lot of resonance, yeah, you see it start to fail because we added zero crossings, more zero crossings, so it can't really know where to restart. So if this happens, you can disable first. You can either disable auto retrig. So here it will still try to, but it's still messy. So so the best if you have complex waveform is to use MIDI. Is now, because now in a new PsyScope you can pick a MIDI track and route it to PsyScope. So here I use the MIDI that trigger my synth, and I route it, monitor in, I route it to my PsyScope Pro here, and now PsyScope will use the MIDI to match the hertz. So this is nice because it restarts, and you can also choose the octave. So wait, I'm on the good sound, square 2, okay. If it's showing, yeah, it's quite high, so I will lower it 12 because I was doing some testing at all frequencies. Okay. So let's say square 2, this is square? No, square 2, okay. Square 2, remove the LFO, reduce the filter. So yeah, you see it's now it's changing note and it's synced quite nicely. And yeah, you can choose if you make 1 cycle or 2 cycle or more. Basically the octave. If you want to see 2 cycles. So yeah, I think that's it. That's a lot of stuff, especially the groups one, because internally there have been a lot of code refactoring. So normally after tested it, I think it's quite stable. But I prefer to let it as a beta for now, so I will give you a link and let the other version as usual. And yeah, I hope you enjoy, and see you. Bye.